I just received a package from Meeden, and I'm so excited to be sharing this with you because I love Meeden products. I love the way that they take care to wrap them so they get to you in one piece without breaking. I have many of their palettes and I absolutely love them. They sent this to me, so this is my first art haul, and here's what they sent. They sent watercolor paper. This is cold press. I've been very interested to see how this texture is on this cold press paper. It comes with a sheet. This is a block. So if you don't know what a block is, it's glued on 3 sides, well 4 sides. You can see here that there's an open where it says open, and you can see that, let's see if I can get that. So it's plastic here, then there's an opening, and then there's plastic here. So I like to use a credit card to open this. A lot of people use palette knives, but I'm always worried about scratching my paper. So you just stick it down in that slot and you have to release it. Listen. Here, kind of releasing the glue. And that's how you get the paper off. So it stays in the block. You don't take it off until you're done painting, but it holds it in place when you're painting, which is really nice. So all the sides are down, they're flat so that it doesn't buckle. I'm going to be experimenting with this. This is cold pressed, and I want you to see the beautiful texture on there. This is 100% cotton. 100% cotton. This is 7x5, and you get 20 sheets in this. And it's 300 GSM, which I believe is 140 pounds. If that's wrong, I will put it on the screen here. They also sent me this. It's one of their new items. It's a foldable paintbrush cleaner. How fun is that, right? Look at this pretty box too. I love that. And here's what it looks like. So that it has, this holds water, and then this is where the water comes out and you can drain it, and it also has a brush holder. So let's take a look at that. This comes in white, blue, yellow, and pink. I got the white one, and you can see there's a little arrow here, so that goes to the orange plunger here. And let's take a look inside. Oh, this is nice. It's got a really nice reservoir for dirty water. It's plastic. Fits in there really well. Let's see how this works. It says to pull out. Oh, I see, it's pushed in on itself. Takes a little bit of muscles. There we go. But you can see a nice expandable water. So you fill it here, and then you, with this, you turn it, make sure this orange is here. So you'll turn it like that, and then you'll fill this here. And I will come back and show you that. And then there's a place here for brushes. That's kind of nice. And when you are leaving them overnight, you do not put them up like that because the water will come down and you will get splitting in your wood here. So always, if you're going to hold the brushes at night after you're done painting, always put them upside down so that the ferrule part is down so that it can drain really nice. I went and filled up this container with water, so it just has a little screw lid here. And I filled mine up probably about 3/4 of a way. And remember, there's this little arrow here, so the orange goes next to that. I'm going to try not to make a mess all over my desk. So here we go. Just laying it in. And this should fill up. That's your little rinse reservoir. And then you push this button when the water's dirty and it goes down into the container underneath. So I'm really loving the simplicity of that. And I like, see how this kind of looks like water up there? I like that a lot. I'm going to set that to the side, and that's what I'm going to be using to rinse, but I'm going to put it up here so that you can see it in action because it's a pretty cool device. And then the third thing they sent me, hold on you guys, this is a big heavy one. they sent me their new watercolor paint set with 96 colors. There are 48 regular colors, 30 metallic colors, 12 macaroon colors, and then 6 fluorescent colors. I'm pretty excited about that. Look at all the gorgeous colors. Now, I haven't painted with Meeden paints before. I use their palettes all the time, but I just haven't experienced their paints, so I'm excited to see what they have. Look at this pretty case. It says Meeden on it. I like that. Whoa. So in here, look at that nice color guide. Oh, that's pretty, so you could set it over that. And then there's another one for the other side, which is really nice. And they're like laminated, so you don't have to worry about them coming off. But then they also give you 2 swatch sheets for yourself, and I will be swatching those. Let's see what this is. Oh, this is like an extended palette. Just clips there. That's kind of nice. Or you can leave it this way and use that there, because this is plastic, so that would work really nice. Let's see what else is in here. So there is an eraser here, like a white eraser, which is nice. Sponge here, a big sponge here. That's for easily dabbing off. I like when they have sponges like that. And then there's a brush. Let's see, what size does it say? It just says a paintbrush, but it looks to be about a size 6 round. It's got a very beautiful point. Look at that. Now, when you first get a brush like this and anything, if it's hard, this is very hard, you just set it in water for a little bit and let the sizing come out of it. It is done hard like that for shipping so that your bristles don't become broken or anything like that. So just set it in water for a couple minutes. And then we also got a sketching pencil by Meeden. I like that they both just sit there. I wouldn't keep my eraser here for sure because I don't want it getting wet or paint on it or anything like that, so I will remove that. For the paint here, because there's so many colors, there's 96 colors, I decided to do the little swatches on my own. So these are the top swatches here, and they're the metallics. Let me see, can you see that? Look how beautiful some of these are. I really like these mint colors. I'm going to try to do something with that. And then these are the more standard colors down here. And I have to say, look at this olive green. Oh my goodness, that is delicious. And I love the yellow ochre up here. I also love this harvest gold. There's also a, where is it? The black green here. Look at that. I really, really like a lot of these earth colors. So what I did here was I looked at the colors and tried to create a color wheel. And I wanted to give myself several different color wheels to look at. So here was a traditional color wheel, and this was done with permanent yellow, ultramarine blue, and crimson. So when you mix the yellow and the red, you get this kind of orange. When you mix the yellow and the blue, you get this green, and the blue and the red, you get this violet. So that to me is pretty traditional. And then I wanted to go to a more, think of a dirtier or a more natural kind of color. I really love the yellow ochre, and they have a color called black tea. Look at that. And then dark blue. So I wanted to try a color wheel with that too. So you can see the orange that it made and the green, and then this really deep violet, because both of these are really, really dark colors. That's a color wheel I really love, and I would love to play a little bit more with that one. And then I was looking for something in between. So you can see that that one's real bright. This one is real dull. So I wanted to try something with the gamboge. So this is gamboge, scarlet, and lake blue. And I think that this is a really nice medium color wheel here. The colors are very beautiful. I like them a lot. This is a little dark, so I could have added more red or more blue to get it to either side. I think it needed a little more red here, but I was really happy with this. And then I tried something like a CMYK. CMYK is like a cyan, magenta, and a yellow with a little bit of black. So I wanted something that would be more bright and intense colors. So that's why I went with the lemon yellow. And then my red here is deep magenta. And then I went with cerulean blue. So you can see what these colors made. Look how bright that green is, the oranges, and the violet. So this would be a fantastic palette if you did a lot of flowers. And then I was going for two really muted ones, and that is because of the Harvest Gold up here I really liked, but then I wanted to try the ochre down here. So this one is the Harvest Gold, and I again pulled the black tea because I really love that tone of the red. I tried indigo, and then look at the colors that it made. So you can see they're all very muted, and I think they're beautiful. I could make nature work with these three for sure. And then this one was done with the ochre. So think of the ochre as a combination between like a yellow ochre and a burnt sienna. That's what this ochre reminds me of. And it's down here in the earth tones. So I tried the ochre, the crimson, and the dark blue to see what kind of colors. And you can see it's just slight variations, but look at this green. That's such a pretty green. It's really mossy and really deep. And I love this deep purple as well. So I wanted to just see what kind of color combinations, and you can see you've got quite a nice palette here of colors. And when I was trying these, I picked colors from here then to do leaves in. So I was working with the yellows and the blues and the greens. So here's what I did. For this first one, which is the lemon yellow, the cerulean blue, and the deep magenta, I did this leaf. And look how intense that is. So you can see that palette right there. The intensity, it's nice, it's bright, it's almost fluorescent. But I love that vibrancy. This one over here was the yellow ochre and the dark blue. So that is this palette up here. So that is the yellow ochre and the dark blue. And look at those colors here. So you can see, to me, it's a more natural color. This is definitely a palette that I would be using, is something a little deeper like that and a little richer. I love this yellow ochre color. And then mixed with that dark blue, look at the beautiful greens that I'm getting here. And then this one was the permanent yellow and ultra blue. So that was this one here. So the first one that I did, the more traditionals, I could really consider that a more traditional palette. But look at the beautiful colorations there too. The yellow is nice and bright. To me, I really like the bright yellow. I love these kind of mossy greens going into almost like a really deep forest green. And I just think that it's really pretty, and it shows off this palette really nice. So you have three different kind of leaves there and three different color wheels. And a set doesn't always offer that. So I want you to really look at what it is doing for you. This was just done on regular paper. I didn't use the cotton paper because I wanted to see how it would do with me splashing. And so I just splash water like this on it while it's wet. And I really like the texture that I got for this. And then the color wheels were just really fun to explore. But what I want to try to do here is do something along the green line. So I love these greens. So we're just going to play with some of these greens here, but I also want to see what adding these green metallics on top will do. I just really like these colorations here. So I want to keep it kind of green on green, and I'm going to use the cotton paper, and we're just going to have a little fun. It's just going to be a couple leaves, and I want to see how they work together. When I was playing with them with these leaves, I was using the Meeden brush, which I love, by the way. It's got a nice point. It's very sturdy. It's very well built. It feels great in my hand because it's a little smaller, and I usually like a smaller brush. But I really needed a bigger size for this. I was really rushing all over trying to get this down with this little bitty brush. But I think on this paper, you'll see how it's going to be a little more manageable. So let's have some fun playing with leaves here. What I like about this wash basin is there is lines. So picture the center here, right here. So the lines are like a sun coming in. So it goes straight, so that when you're washing your brush, you can gently go over the lines, and that will get a lot of your paint out of it. And I really, really like that. It's good for your brush. Try not to go on the tip and go back and forth like that, because that will wreck your tip. But if you go in one direction and just spin it while you're in the water, it's going to keep your brush a lot sharper for a long time. So let's work up some puddles here. I'm going to definitely use that olive green because I absolutely love it. By the way, they wet really easy. You saw me just go in there and look at this puddle. It's so nice. I'm going to add a little bit more water here so I get a little more of that. Maybe this deep moss green. Let's see, that is the one next to it. Oh yeah, that's a little more blue-green because I want to be able to show off those metallics a little bit. So with my brush, I'm going to grab some of this color first. I want one side to kind of have a dark area and one side to have kind of a light area. Sorry about that. That's a little bigger now, so you can probably see it better. I'm just going to touch into the deep moss here. Now, because this is 100% cotton paper, I am going to see if I can splash a little bit. Most of the time I can't in a 100% cotton, but I'm going to keep trying. So first, for splashing, I just dip my first knuckle in. Now I'm going to go to this green color, this lighter green. This is the olive green. Oh, I love this color. Leave it to me to find the dirtiest, mossiest green in here. Just with water, I'm trying to lift this side so it's a little lighter. I'm liking that a lot. I'm going to splash. I'm loving the texture of this paper. Okay, let's find one more green. Let's try deep green and a little bit of this apple green. See what kind of color we get. Oh yeah, that's a pretty one. It's pretty bright. Beautiful brush for that. See that? I'm going on the tip, flattening the brush, and then back on the tip. So the tip, flatten the brush, back on the tip. Tip, flatten the brush, back on the tip. Splashing that. Okay, are you ready for the magic of this? I'm going to push this button here. Let's see. Push the button and let's watch the water go down. Then release it and it fills back up. Isn't that great? And it's got quite a bit of a reservoir underneath it, so you can really do quite a big painting before you have to empty that. I'm going to now go to the shiny stuff here. I think I'm going to use this apple green. I really like that one. So let's try that one here. See what that does. I want to try it over some of the leaves just to see how the coverage is. I'm going to go to the darker green right next to it, the more dark metallic. It almost looks like a black, green, and metallic. It's very beautiful. Okay, let's have a look. Look how beautiful that is. So do you see how it is sparkling right over top? Look at that nice metallic right there. And I love that. It's shiny, but it's not real shiny. Ooh, look at that one. That's beautiful. Now, when you go to take this off, remember I showed you at the start, there's this little part right here that is paper, then cardboard, then paper. So I'm going to stick my credit card here through that little edge. That's better. Got a better grip now. So now I just go along the edge. You can see once you get going, it goes pretty easy. It's tight as first because remember it's glued down as a block. And there you go. That's a fun piece. So I love the texture. Can you see the texture of this paper? And look what that really does to the watercolor. I like that. Even my splashes showed a little bit. Now on most 100% cotton, my splashes do not show. So what was happening is I was letting it dry a little longer before I splashed. But I love the way that that looks. Now let me talk a little bit about this palette. The palette comes off really easy, which I like, so it's easy to clean. I'm just going to take a damp cloth. And with a plastic palette, sometimes you get staining. Can you see that it stains just a little bit, right? It's not as wide as it used to be anymore. So here's a great tip for you. I have this little tube of toothpaste. It's just plain toothpaste. And I keep it on my desk just for my plastic plates or my plastic pellets. So just with the littlest bit, you see that little bitty bit of toothpaste there? I'm going to dip the edge of the paper towel in and just kind of rub it in. This is great if you get a new palette too and it's beading up. So say your paint is beading up and it doesn't really allow you to make a big puddle. Use a little bit of this toothpaste. What the toothpaste does is it has a little bit of texture to it. So it's actually scrubbing a little bit and adding a little bit of texture to your palette here. You'll see in a minute. And your palette smells nice. It's minty fresh. But you can see it's back to white again. And it is the best tip that I found on the internet. I can't remember who shared that, but I have loved it ever since. My overall opinion about the paints are they are wonderful to work with in a sketchbook. Would I paint a huge painting with them? No, because they don't have the flow that I'm used to. So a higher grade professional brand like Daniel Smith or Da Vinci, the colors move and flow a little easier. These are a little tougher to move, but they mix beautifully, and I am really impressed with their metallics. I really, really like that line. So if you know of someone who does greeting cards or coloring books or works in just their sketchbook and they want to play with color and experiment, I think this is a great set for that. Because you get 96 colors, a palette, a brush, and it makes it really, really easy because it's a compact supply. As for the foldable paintbrush cleaner, I really, really love it. For one reason only, it is going to make you have clean water more often. And I think that is a plus because I know me, I can go days without changing water and everything just starts to look grungy. So it's a great space saver. It doesn't take up a lot of room on your table and it allows you to get clean water with just that little push of the button. And I really, really think that that's a plus for any artist. The watercolor paper, I don't really like working with 100% cotton. However, this one has a fantastic texture and I can't wait to play with this a little bit more to see how the colors work out, to see if I can get my splashing to work on this paper. You can see that I had to let it dry just a little bit more so that I could splash, and it did move and I'm thrilled about that. So thank you, Meeden, for sending me these supplies to play with and review and share on my channel. I really appreciate the opportunity. If you like this content, please like or comment. I would love to hear your opinions on it. If you haven't subscribed, please click the button. Thanks so much for watching.